When we last left our humble group of... Yes, this is the correct one. When we last left our humble group of adventurers, you had found yourselves a new ally. That of the marked dwarf, Ulrich, a monk from the Temple of Ouijas, picked up from when you went to visit Nyx's mentor, a stern yet caring elven priest. You made your way out of the dwarven city of Dragonoth and started the long travel towards Highever. You have met a few strange individuals in your travels before, but none stood out quite like the group of pilgrims you passed on your way down through the mountain paths, catching your eye, but nothing else. Your weapons did not stay sheathed the whole journey, mind. After a few days' trek to leave the mountain range, the sounds of combat reached your ears, whilst vibrant cloth-covered wagons assaulted your visual senses. The creatures, most known to most folk as land sharks, had taken to a particular fancy for the bizarre. Only a few of the caravan's denizens were able to fight, and apparently fewer were able to stay standing in one. As you debated, your new friend charged in. The battle led to victory, although rather grievous injuries were sustained. Some kinds of conversation transpired where you learnt a little of the other combatants. However, the now pressing need to keep moving had you make your exit. Not that you got very far. An offer of aid, similar to what you had requested of an ally earlier. Teleportation via circles. That is how you found yourself in an occupied bedroom of the Lotus Petal, a brothel located in Vosgrad, the greatest city in this or any age. Words you have time to ponder on as you stand outside the room you just appeared in. The male guest having been shocked enough only to stammer out a few words, the elven female, however, seemingly nonplussed by your sudden appearance, merely told you to wait outside Versailles. The dark oak wood is contrasted by red velvet drapes and the flickering of candles lining the hall. Numerous doors lead off to places unknown, but perhaps their purpose is easy to guess. There's no clearly marked exit, and the sound of faint harp music drifts through the air. The sound of shuffling feet and clinks of metal on metal as a few of your party members seem unnerved. One of which you now realize you had attempted to make a hurried departure from. This is where we return to the conduit, as the realization that Rose had followed you through portal clicks along with the door behind you. The elven female wearing naught but a silk dressing gown embroidered with depictions of lotus flowers. So, who do I no longer owe a favor to? This elf has hazel hair that falls down to about her shoulders with a slight curl, eyes to match. She has dark olive skin in colour, and the dressing gown shows off her relatively well-formed body. Even the movements of simply walking seem to have an elegance to them.
I shoot Ray stare.
I shoot a stare back. Vincent, however, who's actor who's gone to get dinner, will step forward heartily. I am the leader and therefore the one who gets all the favors.
That is all very well and good, but I asked who I no longer owe a favor to. Very few people know that specific circle.
Conduit. We're the conduit.
That's not what she's asking.
I'm Eryn.
That's
This is Ray.
We don't know his name.
Nyx.
Perhaps describing him would help.
Nice to meet you.
And yourself?
He was really tall.
How much? Says Vincent.
Oh my fucking god, I hate all of you. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
Just Ulrich and Rose are just kind of shuffling behind you guys, just looking around, slowly turning red.
Why is Rose with us?
Because she ran through the portal.
She followed us.
What, without, like, I don't know, anyone knowing?
No, that was what essentially I said. Once you were kind of once you'd shuffled out of the room, you realised your number was 6 rather than 5.
And Rose is the one from Higher, right?
Yep.
Damn it! I was going to escape from that situation, DM.
Nope.
How much? Says Vincent, growing impatient. I'm literally just working off orders here.
Oh, yeah, you know what? Let's just move on. Let's move on. Guy. Wait, Rose. What was his name?
Oh, you mean Samuel?
That guy. Yes, Samuel. Name was Samuel.
Now we're getting somewhere. Right. Well, that is good to know. So, and she kind of looks most of you up and down, eyes lingering somewhat on Eryn.
I step into her field of vision.
So what is such a well-armoured and armed group of individuals like yourself wanting from in these humble walls?
Nothing, just transportation.
Your services.
Can we go?
I do not see why not.
Thank you.
Although,
I got nothing.
you say transportation? Clearly you made transportation here, but anything in particular? You have caught my curiosity, to say the least.
Next, do you want to leave?
Could answer the question first. But yes. North to Highever? We're still going to Highever, right?
Well, I mean, yeah, but, you know, this
Let's not be
city
hasty.
must be so lovely.
You're right.
Oh, so you're heading to the coastlands. Interesting.
Yep. That's us. Heading towards danger. Haha.
Well, that would explain the arms and armor, to say the least.
We could take it off if that's what you want.
Can I leave?
Please, not in the hallway. You might scare some of the other guests.
How many guests do you have?
This time of day, not many. Special
Right.
clientele.
Well, we best be going.
Many
But
apologies.
of course, if you need any rest and relaxation, feel free to come back.
I usually prefer the coming to the going.
So much better at that than I am.
Yeah, well,
Nix leaves. Just turns around.
If you are looking for travel, I would recommend the keep.
Thank you.
Now, 7th door on the left, you will find the stairs. Make your way out through the tavern down below, and you will find yourself in Vosgard.
thank you.
Ray is walking with Nix, who I suppose is the leader, right? And away from Rose.
Nix was just
Who is
desperate to get out.
slowly turning bright red.
I pull Vincent aside and I say, we're coming back here, right?
Obviously.
Awesome. And I continue walking.
You kind of glance over your shoulder, Eryn, to see that she does a small wave and a wink before heading back into the room.
Oh my god. I love this person.
Eryn just collapses in a heap on the floor.
I think I'm in love.
Oh, that didn't take very long.
Okay, remember last time the person you got along with turned out to be a fucking night hag? Please be careful.
I'd forgotten about that.
I
Yeah,
have
Eryn, you almost killed our friend.
Wow,
That was a low
that's
blow.
very guilt-inducing.
All right. So you follow her instructions. Head to the 7th door. Cautiously push it open to find that there is indeed a staircase with 1 or 2 flights leading up and another flight leading down. You make your way down, push open the door at the bottom to find yourself in a similarly decored tavern. Tables sort of laid out. Tables sort of spread out, nothing laid out on top of them. Pardon me. With a sort of bored-looking half-orc just leaning on the bar, who is wearing leather armor, great sword strapped to the back, just sort of drumming fingers as 1 or 2 maidens run around, just sort of cleaning tables and starting to lay stuff out for the beginning of the evening's events. You make your way through the tavern and out through the door onto the streets. The building's shadow blocks the gentle autumn sun from reaching the street you step onto. Glancing around, you see mostly 2 or 3-story buildings, except the one you stepped out of, fill the land. Alleyways weave in and out of the dark wooden and stone buildings. The streets travel almost as straight as the crow flies, seemingly leading towards white walls. Behind the eastern set, you see spiraling towers and domed cobalt roofs of a magnificent building standing into the sky. Made of the same white stone as the walls, but polished to the point of glinting in the sunlight. The building's outline only broken by the occasional watchtower along the wall. You step onto the paved road, made of matte black stone slabs meticulously laid to form a smooth surface. Kind of glance around. There's a bit of hubbub in the streets, people making their way along the roads. You notice sharply dressed, uniformed and armored guards walking with purpose, seemingly patrolling. The city hums with rattles with noise as carts make their way along the street, whilst idle chit-chat and in the distance 1 or 2 barking shopkeepers can be heard in the air.
Right.
Ulrich sort of glances down and is sort of running his fingers over the stone, muttering to himself in Dwarvish.
Which I can understand. What's
He's
he saying?
essentially
Me too.
he's essentially just sort of running through essentially just sort of going, wow, it's like so well made, look at the no tool marks, sort of just running through a list of compliments and observations of the stonework which makes up this road.
Fair enough. Okay. It's pretty busy, right?
Relatively, yeah.
Well, I guess we should find some lodging.
What time is it currently?
It is currently about probably 4 in the afternoon.
Lodging sounds like a good idea.
Let's try and find some maybe nearby.
As
Right.
you two are sort of having this discussion, Rose steps up towards Ray. Her face now slowly beginning to change color away from the color of her hair. Miss, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't believe I am.
No. Nate, no.
Are you not the princess?
Which princess? There's been a few.
Now that is true.
Why did you follow us? Didn't the people back there need you?
They can handle themselves. It is not often such beasts come from the ground. Besides, since I believe I am correct. Well, first of all, I wanted to make sure, and second of all, if it was you, well, my duty states I must pledge myself back to you.
Well, other people from Highever didn't see it that way.
Perhaps. But they were probably not part of the Royal Guard.
That they were not.
And with that, she essentially takes the knee and puts her arm across her chest to her shoulder and bows her head towards you.
Oh, no one's ever done that to me before.
I am at your service, miss.
I'm honoured.
Besides, most of you look a bit like fish out of water in this place.
You can say that again. We've been lost pretty much since we found each other.
Well, I have spent some time in this city.
Oh, great. So you'll be able to tell us where we can get a drink.
Most certainly. Tavern, I do recall. She kind of glances around, seems to try and get her bearings somewhat. I think this way, the Bleeding Hearth. Bit of a strange fellow who runs it, but good priced ale.
As long as there's good ale and a place to catch up. I'm game.
Certainly. And she sets off, sort of glancing over her shoulder towards you guys down the street.
Yeah, I'm walking with her.
All right.
Same.
Everyone else following?
Yeah.
I guess so.
Alrighty. So you make your way along these smooth, essentially smooth black stone roads, still hearing the odd admirational remark from Ulrich. Most people don't pay heed or mind to you. You notice that it sort of all of the buildings are made of a similar sort of wood and stone, and that there are trees dotted throughout, sort of in spaces between buildings. There seems to be purposely spaces left for small amounts of grass and some flower beds to grow, with the odd tree. Although they are clearly not, although they're not formed into any particular shape, they are clearly maintained to be somewhat reasonable. Although made of the same materials, the buildings do seem to vary in design, and some show different signs of age and weathering, but none appear dilapidated or in need of being fixed up. Second group of sharply dressed guards make their way past as she leads you down the main road before, well, not the main, leading down the road before hanging a left, and eventually you see a 4-story building with a sign hanging in front of the door marked, well, the Bleeding Hearth. A little picture of a fireplace and essentially flames going up and then mirroring the image of the flames coming off the logs downwards is just in a blood red color.
Whoa, this is dark.
I like this place.
It is just a name. Anyway, she pushes the door open. It creaks slightly. There's only 2 other patrons sat in the tavern at the moment, and stood behind the counter is a relatively scrawny-looking human, sort of long, twirly, greasy brown hair. Looks almost weaselly in nature, kind of just rag and glass in hand, just cleaning. Kind of turns and looks and goes, Rose, didn't expect to see you back. Thought you were heading out. Well, somewhat of a long story, I guess. Got any room still free? Of course. How many are you looking for? And he kind of glances at you guys. Looking for 6, 4, 2, 1.
Hey,
No.
I don't judge.
Thanks.
6 will be fine.
6 sounds nice.
6, please.
Certainly. 6 it is. Right. Well, that will include a meal. You're looking at about 8 silver pieces each. So,
I'm kidding. Okay.
you're looking at 48 silver pieces in total.
I'll put down 8 silver pieces.
Same.
Give
Damn.
Rose and Ulrich also pay theirs. Thank you. You can have the second floor. And kind of gives you your keys to your room. Any drinks? Let me know.
What's the strongest thing you have?
Unfortunately, we only stock some of the normal spirits. Nothing too fancy here. Got plenty of ale, though. And some wine. Maybe we've got a bit of port knocking around if you want that.
I'll just have a water, please.
Certainly.
Eryn, you okay?
He wants to
Yep.
remember.
Just want to stay sober tonight. I'm feeling really broody.
I,
Brood. You know how I get.
we need to work.
Right.
on
He tells me
that.
this one ain't letting on all day. He's thinking.
By that you mean.
Rose, what will you have?
I'll just have an ale.
Same. And I'll pay for both.
Thank you. All right.
That's alright. Least I could do.
Seems like you made some good friends, Rose. I'll water, 2 ales. Anything else?
Do you do tea?
Certainly.
Tea, please.
This is the greatest city.
True.
Greatest human city.
Greatest city of this age. Or any. Although human
You
implementation.
probably-
Not
you
just
probably
built by.
haven't seen Esh. Quite a sight to behold.
As you say that, this guy's visage just shifts from that of this somewhat scrawny looking human into a slender and similar heighted, but a slender sort of elf with rather short cropped grey hair and a sort of bit of a big bushy beard.
Whoa.
I have been most places.
Fair enough.
I do something
What did it
similar.
look like?
Kind of winks before going and getting the drinks.
This one's a tough
Yeah, he's a bit of a weird one. As far as I can tell, he can take on almost appearance of most people he's seen.
And
Slightly
does he-
creepy when you get served by yourself.
Does he literally just use it to freak people out?
Well, I don't think I've ever seen what they really look like. It's not just males. Take on female as well.
That's so
You reckon it's a skill someone could learn?
I never thought to ask. Possibly. After a little while, Derek comes back.
Derek.
His name is Derek.
Wait,
Or at least that is what you're told his name
Ooh.
why does that sound familiar?
I want the Derek DLC content.
is.
Tell us more about Derek.
Well, he hands you, was it 2 ales, a water? Was Vincent getting anything?
Yeah, I'll just get like an ale.
Right, 3 hours of water and some herbal tea.
Oh,
Tea.
tea.
Thank God.
Right, if there's anything else I can get you, don't hesitate to let me know.
Right. Thank you.
I go sit down with my ale.
You did notice when he essentially changed their appearance, their clothes stayed the same. The sort of tavern keepers, sort of pale but slightly not off-white cotton shirt, sort of belt, and then just plain greenish trousers.
So, oh my god, it's not an illusion.
It's times like this when I miss Curious.
Curious was great.
It wasn't strange, gimmicky.
Ray, you have a royal guard now.
I
Well,
am still here.
Sorry.
I don't like to think of you as my god. How about sounds so cringy. I was about to say sisters in arms.
I think we'll stick with guard for now.
Or companion.
I
Though that has other
companion's
implications.
better.
It has other implications.
So,
Ulrich.
Help me out, guys. What's a better word? My brother.
so do you like? What is the extent of the? Do you literally do anything for this person? Are you like worshipping?
Her eyes narrow somewhat. What are
So
you
do
planning?
mine.
I'm just asking. I don't know what a royal guard does. I'm not royalty. I've never really been in contact with any royalty. What do these guards do? They do everything?
No. It's a guard service. She protects me.
Or just like
Well,
any other guard?
nothing. Well, she protects royalty, as in royal guard.
We were picked from the guards to serve specifically just to guard the castle and its inhabitants.
Oh, okay. So it's just like any other guard.
Oh, Eryn.
Yeah, I guess, but it's not like any old bloke can become a guard and then any old bloke can become a royal guard. It takes a bit of skill. At least
Alright,
give me
fair
some credit.
Fair enough.
I bet I
Credit's
could
due.
still take you.
Ah, maybe we could do some sparring at some point.
So down for that.
That's good. It means we don't have to get beaten up again.
Anyway, Rose, I feel like we have a lot to talk about.
Oh, most definitely. Do you want to start, or
Do you want to start?
Or
No, you go ahead, Rose. You tell me what you know.
Well, what I know or what I want to know.
So,
We have all night.
start with what happened to you first. We'll get on to the questions later.
All right. Well, once you were presumed, once you went missing and platoon you were with was pretty much eradicated, they couldn't find your body.
Eyes
It was
twitching.
somewhat held out, but eventually most started to presume your loss. I put a bit of a damper on the mood. The princes went to Redlam. And then it wasn't long after that that the battlefields, they were repopulating themselves from those who had fallen beforehand. Not entirely sure what happened to the invading army, but we went from fighting men to fighting fallen friends
What was the
and allies.
time span of all this?
Couple months.
Oh my God.
That's
Very hard to fight on all fronts. After all, we had been pushing back and forth a bit. The front line had been moving, so... Well, when the dead started rising, we were somewhat surrounded. The... I can't say how many. Some of us... Well, some of them, I wasn't too far out. Made it back to the castle. I don't know how many more may have gone elsewhere. But when these signs that we were now fighting skeletons, zombies, ghouls, all sorts of unliving beings, they were beginning to do more damage than even the war. The king and queen held multiple courts, and it was decided to those who still remained be escorted out. What remained of the army was gathered, who piled up their possessions, started to make their way, guarded as best they could. The king and queen, however, decided to try and do more. They made contact with unsavory fellows who promised safe passage.
Were you with them?
This was for the queen. She was to head to Redland. Follow your brother. And to try and seek their aid. We heard about what happened further west. They helped the undead scourge, and we were hoping that they will come aid us as well. As for me, no. I helped to escort the king. Escorted him to this very city.
He
Took a
was-
while.
He was here?
He was. We stayed for a few days. However, on the 4th, he summoned all of us. About 10 of us there were, guarding him and your other brother. And he thanked us for our service. He said our service would be needed again. And if we were to wish to serve again, well, our services will be needed again if we wish to offer them. If we are willing, we will know the call to rally when it comes. With that, he took your brother and 2 others, the captain of the guard and one other councilman. I'm afraid I don't know his name. And they went off. I took to doing odd jobs around the city. We met Samuel, and he talked me into guarding a caravan, which he had recently met. I thought no better way to pass the time. I would continue to do some form of guarding. And with that, we set out. Unfortunately, all that I know about where your father went was eastwards in search of some other form of aid.
There's not much east, I guess, on this continent. Oh,
There is an awful lot of wilderness. I believe his intention was to travel quickly and inconspicuously, trying to avoid attention. A platoon of about, well, no, not a platoon, but too large for a squad. 14 relatively well-armored individuals riding on horseback would draw some form of attention.
Smart.
wait, did you say the 4th of this cycle?
For what? Sorry.
For when you all arrived here in Vosgard.
Let the DM just find his fucking calendar.
Sorry, I found it first.
Well, bearing in mind you're currently at the very end of the second cycle of this.
Mm-hmm.
So when are you asking?
She said they arrived on the 4th.
Arrived for 4 days. As in they hung around in the city for 4 days before they were dismissed. She didn't say what date they arrived.
I thought she specified. Ignore me, I misheard.
No. She said they hung around for 4 days and that she's been knocking around for about a month or so now.
Okay.
So, that's my story.
Well, I guess it's only fair I share. And I tell her everything.
I tell her. You know, how much easier would my life be if it just goes, the NPC tells you everything you need to know.
I can actually do it if you want.
Nah, I'm pulling it. We don't
Do
have
we
to
know
sit through that.
everything?
Yeah.
Is there anything you're telling her that we don't know?
Probably how when I first left, my platoon got wiped out, and that's devastating, and I probably shed a tear for that. But I say in character, I do still have Eclipse, and I pull it out and I put it on the table.
She kind of stops halfway through her drink and coughs slightly as she puts it down and kind of leans in closer. You notice doesn't touch it, but just glances it over.
I realized
Oh.
what I did was very wrong. But at least I got the sword.
Well, we'll give some people to rally behind.
I really think it's that powerful.
A symbol, yes. Although, admittedly, it took me a little while to realise, but that's just me we're talking about. Ulrich sort of like, I'm gonna go get another ale. As he kind of just slides off from the his stool and kind of plods over to the bar.
Maybe we dragged him into something more than what he bargained for.
As he kind of gets up onto a stool, you suddenly go, bloody hell! Oh, God. As you glance over, you see just an Ulrich just staring back at him.
Oh, I can do that too.
Rose, there's one thing I don't understand, though.
There's multiple things I don't understand, but I'll try and explain it if I know.
As I told you, I ran into some guards from Highever, and they bore nothing but resentment, probably correctly placed. Why are you still willing to serve me, of all people? Let alone my family.
Your family has done nothing wrong. This war was... We were dragged into it in self-defense. We all make mistakes. And you can see she's sort of trying to step gently.
Oh, I've heard worse. Be honest with me.
We all make mistakes. Royalty is no different. I swore an oath. I intend to keep it.
But when the rest of the guards scattered, did you not have a family to go to? Somewhere you could, wait this out?
I had a sister. I do not know what happened to her, no.
I'm sorry.
But my duty came first. There was a significant part of the army which still stood behind your father. Those who made it back to the keep came back to serve, ready to fight. They decided it would be best for them to aid in getting the people out. Whilst they took only a few numbers of guards to travel quickly to try and get aid. Out of the 7 council members, 1 went with your father, 3 disappeared. The other 3, as far as I'm aware, went with the rest of the guards and the people to try and find shelter wherever they can. They too headed eastward, avoiding the Traveller's Woods, heading towards... forgive me, I never really learnt the places, but some of the cities to the east. They are now seeking asylum. However, I am sure out of those who did not return, not all were due to the fact that they could not. Some probably chose not to. Flee. I mean, who can blame someone? Own friends are standing up and stabbing you in the back. However, traumatizing time. Some people will look for the easiest thing to blame. It is unfortunate that you were the start of a long chain of bad and unhappy events.
I didn't run away. You have to believe I didn't desert. I would never, if I knew what was going to happen, I would never have left you.
Well, I am stood here, willing to serve with you as you head back towards your fallen kingdom.
Where I'm happy to have you. Are there any questions you'd like to ask?
No, I'm pretty sure your large dialogue drop pretty much answered all of them.
Oh, Nate! Well, I tried to be precise.
And yet so forthcoming with information. I'm surprised you managed to get it into so few words.
I'm a bit of a lyricist.
Beamed it directly into her mind.
Oh, wow.
And it's still about 4 o'clock.
Weirdly enough, it's 5 minutes past 4.
Oh,
Ulrich is on his 3rd pint.
Oh, I'm
God,
on my
I wish
third.
that was me.
Damn, I was hoping it'd be later.
Alright. Well. Here's to
Fair
high
enough.
ever, I
It's
say
probably
somberly, and raise my
down.
tankard.
She
Yeah.
kind of raises hers as well. Ulrich's making his way back from the bar. Going, maybe I should have stayed in the temple.
This will be fun. You know, fun in the last fight? It's great.
True, true. Think of the things to punch, think of the things to punch. Just starts downing it.
Forget
Oh, I
something.
join him. Go. Think of things to punch. Go.
Eryn downs his water, I guess.
I down my tea, but I burned myself.
Nyx daintily sips quickly.
Animals.
Alrighty.
Well, would you look at the time? I need to be off.
Where are you going, Eryn?
I really,
Don't
I'll
stay out too late.
Those trousers aren't going to come off by themselves.
Who the fuck said that?
Right, hag back. Jesus.
You know what? Just don't do.
No,
Too
Eryn, I want to know where you're going. Where are you going?
Eryn disappeared off the face of the earth.
Eryn, wait.
Eryn.
What? What?
Please repeat.
Repeat, please.
Are you gonna stalk Eryn?
No, I just want to demand where he's going.
Well, I just imagine Eryn walking away, race out of the table going, Eryn!
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 For God's sake,
Eryn.
Eryn.
Oh, well, I'm sure we have a backup Eryn behind the bar.
What the hell does
You
that
glance
mean?
over and a female elf just sort of waves.
Yeah, close enough.
No, that.
Fuck you.
But, like, I no, I'm not that drunk. I don't say anything. More broody, is what I was going to say.
Poor girl.
At that, you notice that there is now you stood behind the bar.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I'm more attractive than I thought I was.
Oh, come on.
I thought rich people had mirrors.
I'm just checking myself out. No, I'm not. I'm engaged in intellectual conversation with Rose.
Whilst glancing over your shoulder.
Well,
occasionally.
that's on my shoulder.
Oh, I have to ask, is Vincent, like, following me?
Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, he left his ale. Mine.
Hey, Derek.
Yeah?
Have we met before?
Don't think so.
Okay.
Pretty good at remembering faces.
I bet. I bet you are. Never mind. It's a common name, I guess.
Met a few in my time. That's why I took it.
It is a good name. It's a good name.
How's your tea?
It's great. I'm very impressed. Been a while since I've had a decent cup of tea.
Well, you can get almost anything in the city.
Would not recommend the tea from Wildshore. 10 out of 10 would not drink again. Don't do it. It's not worth it.
That seems a bit conflicting there, statement.
That's very true. But those are the most fun kind of statements.
Uncertainty. True. Been to Archer. Never had the tea.
Good decision.
Lost a coin purse.
Doesn't surprise me. Sorry about that. Wildshore's like that.
Yeah, well, lesson learned.
No,
Found a few new faces to have fun with, though.
That's good at least. Would not recommend another visit to Wildshore.
Yeah, neither do I. Call me if you need me. And with that, he wanders off. So, what are people doing?
Engaging in intellectual conversation.
Intellectual
Over
conversation
to
is
the-
being engaged.
Is it the lotus flower?
Ooh, shows how much you were paying attention to my delightful intro.
Lotus
bad.
petal.
Names.
Lotus petal.
Ah, I got
Sorry.
it right. Yeah, go.
I'm half asleep.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
Jesus Christ, not
messing
because
with
of you.
Yllka.
Oh, that's mean.
Okay, I get it.
I'm sorry.
Jam, no. Bad jam.
I assume Vincent's coming with me.
Yeah.
Are we like walking next to each other, or are we doing that awkward thing where we know we're both going in the same direction, but we're not acknowledging?
Two bros, hen to the brothel. Sorry.
Something like that.
Don't mind me.
Wow,
Cool.
Jam, wow. Okay, so you make your way back along the pathway which you've taken before, taking about 10 minutes or so, sort of navigating and taking in your surroundings. It is a different and somewhat unnerving place for you, Eryn. You probably have been near Vosgrad before, but you've never been this far into the city. Your traveling merchants probably would have set up shop in probably near the outer wall rather than pretty much in the inner circle.
Right.
So you've seen it from afar, but being in a very urban area, I would imagine Eryn is not the most comfortable he's ever been.
It is a bit unnerving. Very poncy.
Very poncy. You, however, make your way back to the Lotus Petal. Sort of glance around the street before walking in. The harp music you heard playing before has been replaced with a piano, which you do sort of glance across and see that there is one in the corner with a greying gnome with a handlebar mustache. Just very small glasses balanced on the tip of his nose, squinting at some sheet music, just playing away in the corner. Every now and then, sort of, the page is just turning as a slight pause in the music. The half-orc is now sort of stood next to the door, and so you guys walk in and sort of nods at you two. Oh, want to leave those weapons with me?
Does he look intimidating?
He's relatively large. wearing leather armor with spiked bits of metal sticking out of the shoulders. There is a used-looking greatsword on his back, and two protruding tusks, one of which is chipped and almost cracked in half.
I give him the rapier, but try and conceal a dagger on myself.
Make a sleight of hand check, please.
I was gonna say the same thing. I give him the bow, but I'm gonna try and hide the dagger. Oh my god.
All right, he takes the rapier from Vincent and nods. The sleight of hand check from Eryn, please. Looks you up and down, and hand just extends back out.
I hand him the dagger.
You
Not
won't
worth
be
the
needing
trouble.
it in here. If you do, you got me.
Right.
Have a good evening. Feel free
Thanks.
to collect them off me when you leave. And then he then sort of just gestures towards the tables. Take a seat. And choose your order.
Oh no.
Okay.
Bad, Abby, bad.
Abby,
yeah.
you're asexual.
You ever
Question mark.
Yeah.
Question mark pink.
Jammed up with death.
Vincent, you ever been to a place as fancy as this?
No. I feel a little bit out of my depth, if I'm honest.
Yeah, I can relate. But I'm sure it's all worth it.
Yeah, I mean, it's all the same, right?
Right, yeah.
Right, well, as you settle down at a table, you are offered a menu for food and drink.
I've never been
Oh no.
before.
So the place has two functions. First of all, one, it is a tavern, as well as a brothel.
I
It's
still,
so
I'm
funny if
making.
they thought they were going to a brothel and they just went for dinner.
They just have a nice candle romantic lit dinner with each other.
Is there any way we can like skip this step?
I know. I always feel so sluggish after reading.
The southern girl sort of smiles and goes, "Of course," and beckons you up from the table
Does
and
look
leads
really
you
good, though.
Maybe another time.
upstairs, where you are met with a choice of different women, to which it costs you. Ooh, we'd probably look at about 5 gold.
Okay. I can afford that. Well, not really just, but it's like a third of my funds.
Eryn is broke.
But it's worth it.
I can afford it comfortably, but I'm still not so happy about it. It's expensive. I'm hoping for my money's worth.
With 5 gold, you enjoy a night and a room with luxuries of companionship and alcohol.
Wait, was she there? Is she?
The one which you interrupted so rudely. When shown the assortment of women, she is not one of them.
No. I have to have her. I ask after her.
He's in love.
That's gonna be out of your price range.
Excuse me. I just wanted to know where if there's an elven girl, hazel hair, sort of longish. Do you know where she is?
Kind of tilts her head slightly and goes, You're talking about Miss Evergreen?
Oh, that name. I assume so. Yeah.
She she runs this place, you know.
Eryn does Pikachu face.
Takes on some of the more special clientele.
Special.
She just kind of raises her eyebrows. Rich.
Oh, okay. So this just involves paying more.
Mm, I can. I can.
Oh, this is embarrassing.
I can go speak to her if you wish, but do not expect anything.
Yeah, if you don't mind.
She gives a short nod and runs off. Probably 3-4 minutes later, Vincent's already gone away and is enjoying himself thoroughly.
Wow.
When the servant girl comes back, shortly followed by the elven woman you saw before.
Oh my god. Miss
I hear you
Evergreen.
addressed me and did not even know my name.
Well, I know it now.
Perhaps one of them.
Just one. Maybe I can find out the second.
Maybe.
Sorry, this is out of character. I'm sorry.
I think it's perfectly in character.
No, come on, he doesn't giggle.
I've heard him giggle.
Well, you certainly piqued my interest earlier.
We are an interesting bunch. Not
I'm
your
sure.
average clientele, I'm sure.
The joys of running this place, I get to pick and choose.
Oh, right.
She gives a
That's
slight wink
nice.
before just sort of grabbing you by the front of the collar and just dragging you off to a room.
Oh my god! Yes! Weeks of waiting, and it paid off.
Obviously,
Okay,
enough with you too.
She doesn't stay the whole night, but you have a couple of enjoyable hours before she retires and additional company is provided.
Oh, that's very sweet of her.
Two for the price of one.
I can't believe it. I'm so impressed. I don't want to be
Eryn
proud.
better be in a bloody good mood after this. I'm sick of
Eryn.
broody Eryn.
Erin's mood is permanently happy for the next 6 weeks.
Yay!
Just everything is going wrong around him. I feel fabulous.
I feel pretty.
Oh, so pretty.
Okay, we're good.
Alrighty. So, amusingly enough, both of them now paid for 2 rooms, but you know.
Did she smell like oak trees?
Oh god.
You know, I'm going to leave that to your imagination.
Okay. Yeah, we paid for 2 rooms, and one of them bloody expensive. Oh man.
Alrighty.
In the morning,
so morning
I'm
comes.
gonna skip back.
Morning comes. 4 party members are a lot more rested than the other 2.
Hey, remember I only need like 6 hours.
You can just
Of
meditate.
light activity.
Well, she
So-
only had
Oh.
Emphasis on the light.
What?
Wow.
Yeah, I skip back to the Bleeding Hearth.
All right. Eryn merrily skips his way back, Does Vincent also make his way back, I assume?
Yeah.
Are we gonna walk out at the same time again and kind of not acknowledge?
Just awkwardly stare at each other, kind of just adjust armor, pick up weapons. To which, by the way, Vincent, when one of your weapons was found, essentially the door flew open, the dagger got thrown out, and then the door closed again.
Oh no.
Still better it got found.
Well,
Kind of hard not to in that situation. However, you're able to retrieve it in the morning from a somewhat narrow-eyed half-orc.
Well, I retrieved my weapons as usual.
All right, you retrieve your weapons and you head back to the Bleeding Half, where I assume everyone else has had a decent night's sleep in their separate rooms
Yes.
and is now downstairs eagerly awaiting breakfast.
Yes.
yes.
I ask Derek for some porridge or something. I don't know.
I pronounce it Direct.
Darak.
Direct.
Darak in the house.
Yeah.
And I plop down next to it. If Ray and Nix are there, I'll down next to them.
All right. And so you are all provided with a sort of with a cool breakfast of bread and a few different cheeses. And since your special request, a little bit later, Eryn, you are provided with porridge and a bit of honey.
Oh, hey, Eryn. Where did you go?
I give Rose. I'm sorry, I'm just reading my notes. I give Ray a big smile. Oh, just taking in the night air.
Well, if it was about the air, made you a lot happier.
Oh, really?
You weren't wandering around trees, were you?
No. What makes you say that?
You seem a bit happier around trees. So
Yeah. But anyway, I'm just in a good mood. I'm just happy for you. You found your royal guard or whatever.
you
What's
weren't
her
very
name?
happy
Rose?
last night.
Me?
Yeah. You ordered a water. My drinking buddy.
Yeah. I needed a break.
From ale.
Yep.
It was a
Cool.
long break.
Oh, hey, Vincent.
Oh, hey, Vincent.
I had a lovely night, did you?
Yeah,
Were you also taken in the air?
it was good air.
It was, wasn't
Expensive.
it? I feel like
More than usual.
the air specifically chose me, though.
Yeah, well, unlike some of us, I didn't spend half of my gold on talking to strangers. I wanted to spend my time really taking in the air, getting all my gold.
Well, I like understanding the character of the air as well.
You're right. Maybe that air was good. Maybe I'll have to take in that air myself next time.
I
Alric
would
leans over to Nix
highly
and goes,
recommend it.
"Correct me if I'm mistaken, but didn't they head back to the brothel?"
They did. Just pretend like you don't know and that it didn't happen, and you'll feel much better about it.
Got yep.
We're still talking about the
Barkeep,
quality of
another
air.
ale.
Well, I thought I was bad.
I'm like looking between the two, like a hyper game of tennis. Maybe just like looking between.
We're starting to talk about water content of air now.
Oh God!
I didn't mean that to mean anything. I'm just.
Rose is slowly turning the shade of red that is Ray's hair.
I'm already that color. We've become one.
Anyway, what's got you so grumpy, Ray?
Grumpy.
Really downer.
I'm not grumpy. I'm not a downer.
Oh,
When is she
alright.
not grumpy?
It's rich.
I am, thank you.
No, it's rich as me.
Some of us like to enjoy our wealth, spend it on the finer things in life.
Like
Just try it
air.
sometime. The finest quality, yeah.
Explains why you haven't got much money.
It
You
explains
guys
why
sound
you're
like
so
you've been
miserable.
huffing compressed air.
I'm paying someone for it.
Oh.
Well, I think I have seen what Vosgrad has to offer. If you guys want to move on, I am very happy to.
Sure, but where are we actually going?
North, right?
Yes.
Didn't the lady you went to see say that if we wanted to get transportation north, we should talk to her? Wait, no,
But
she
do
told
we
us to
want
go to
to?
some.
Do we want to go north though?
I know I don't
She
want to go
actually
back to the
said
brothel.
to head to the keep.
True, much better than heading back to the brothel.
I feel like I should probably let you know the keep is what they call the docks. It's a bit weird.
Oh, so it's not like a magic transportation circle thing.
No, although I'm pretty sure there's probably an academy somewhere around here which might hold one. There are a few scholarly types around here. Normally you can tell they have the bigger houses or the ones which don't agree with the laws of being. But yeah, no, the keep is the docks because, well, it was a keep and it's still technically is, but it was one of the oldest part of the city, and then they, expanded, and then they built the palace. And it's a rather old city. They call things by some weird names.
It's pretty impressive.
Here I thought we were just a zap away.
Maybe we could find a quicker way. Maybe we
I
could.
don't know where to start looking for that sort of stuff, I'm afraid.
But where are we actually wanting to go? That's my question.
I thought we were gonna go check out how High looks now. See if maybe since,
And
well, I mean, if that's where the concentrated attacks are of the undead, then I'm hoping maybe the Lich is nearby so we can go kick his butt. Or get some help kicking his butt.
there's not much of Highever left.
Well,
Then our visit will be short.
undead don't exactly like burning, raise things to the ground, but people-wise, correct.
Better not be Rose talking, I swear to God.
Things to hit. Tell you that.
There's nothing in Highever besides maybe a slightly angry Lich who wants us all dead.
Well, I mean, I thought since he is specifically targeting us now, maybe we should just go take the
Well,
fight to him.
next, put it this way.
Mhm.
My entire kingdom, complete with guards and armed people, fell to the Lich and the Lich's army in the space of 2 months.
We didn't fall, we moved away. Difference.
I'm fully aware that there is
Well,
no way in hell we can actually fight the Lich. Don't worry.
right, so you just want to kill us.
No, I just
I
want.
draw my sword.
We can, like, for God's sake.
Maybe
Maybe
maybe we could look for your brothers.
Well, one's heading east and one's heading west.
Your pick.
So we
I
head
mean,
north. Meet them in the middle.
Yeah, and
Ray, we're following you. You know, we're happy to help you however we can. But, you know, whatever you think's best.
Well, if I had it my way, I'd want to go to Rutland, because that's where I definitely know that's where half of my family was heading. But it's getting there that's the problem.
Yep.
yeah, last airship travel didn't go so well.
What was that, Rose, you said about circles where we might find one?
I wouldn't know where to look, but well, this is the greatest city. There is, I'm sure, several scholars. I put my time just wandering around the city for a while. I found one magic shop. Well, found several, but I don't really remember where one of them is. We could start asking there, I guess.
It's the best idea I've got.
Wait, we need to buy diamonds.
Okay.
Why?
So if one of you,
Suddenly very materialistic,
so
Nick.
if one of you fuckers die, I can bring you
Diamonds are
back.
your best friend and all that. Okay,
Ulrich
yeah,
sort
no,
of
that's
looks
good.
at you and goes, "Ain't bringing me back if I die."
I think you're forgetting that some of us
All right.
have the gods watching over us. And I
Well,
tap
if
my
if you
necklace.
if it's a good death, I think you're happy with, then sure.
Unless, I like trip and fall on a stone and crack my head open, then bring me back.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Of course. Like it's a good death in a
He's
Yeah,
fight.
good death.
so
Good death,
cute.
leave me.
Please buy diamonds.
He's
I don't.
so cute. I
You
don't
know
want him to
what?
die.
If I'm dying and I'm happy, I'll give you a thumbs up.
Okay. Okay. It's fine. I'm sure I have a spell that can let me contact you to make sure that you're okay with the death.
How about
Yeah, no,
just
that's a good idea. That's a good idea.
Oh, I do
Ask me
have.
after I've died, and if I'm unhappy, bring me back. Yeah.
how about no one dies?
Easier said than done.
I-
We're
We've
all
proven this
alive.
before.
We're all alive.
Nix, please go buy diamonds. I'm too young to die. I can't die.
Alright.
Eryn
For
just got his
Eryn's
hands in the meat.
sake.
Buy diamonds, buy diamonds. I don't want to forget last night.
Well, I mean, I don't have the money for it, so I was hoping maybe
Let's
can we put
go.
what?
I have no money.
I don't know, how much does a diamond cost?
I was.
Well, you see, it varies on size, quality, and pretty much how it's cut. The larger the diamond, generally the more expensive. However, you can get small diamonds which are worth more than larger diamonds due to the sheen of them and also the carats which you were in. Now, you see, and Ulrich just starts going off on a long rambling
Alright, hello.
page.
Wow.
He's a dwarf.
It's
How many
Anti
diamonds?
stereotype.
Thought he really liked diamonds.
okay. So
What size cut sheen diamond do you need next?
as long as the cumulative amount equals 300 gold, it's fine.
I don't have that kind of money.
Yeah, I'll just die.
That's.
I have
Jesus Christ.
13.
You're still bringing me back.
Oh, guys.
I have
Even-
13 gold.
No, not you. Am I? I mean, we have party. Didn't you start a party fund?
I did, and we haven't added anything to it.
Yeah, well, I mean,
There is.
I've been preoccupied with my money.
I take out my little notebook. There is 13 platinum pieces and 83 copper.
13 platinum.
I thought it was
17
platinum.
platinum.
17. Oh, well, we're already halfway there.
I have 5 platinum.
Where do you guys get all this money?
We didn't waste it.
I think they're
I
picking
don't
up off
waste
the
money.
dead people.
Yes. Oh yeah. Welcome to.
You're obsessed with magical
sorry,
trinkets.
Ulrich. Welcome to adventuring with our group.
Me?
We do loot the dead bodies.
Yeah. Every time we go into a shop.
They ain't using it anymore.
That's very true.
I don't remember ever being obsessed with any magical trinket whatsoever.
Oh, every time we went anywhere, you would always ask if they had some magic bow or some magic arrows that you can fire from it.
You did.
Listen,
Yeah,
elves
as
like
Eryn's
magic,
saying
okay?
this, little sparkles come off his braces and bow.
I quite
Really?
like magic. We respect it. Yes, I made this a racial thing.
Wait, I have a longbow. I say, going through my backpack.
Nix is just going through a backpack and pulls out a bow you've seen strapped to it the entire time and just looks in awe. I don't recall having this.
It's bigger
Did
than
I
I
sell
am.
that to you?
No, well, wait, would you? I can use it. Yes, I've been
You know,
trained.
if you stand on my shoulders, you won't even have to angle it sideways.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Not both of you will make the size of an actual person.
How?
Actually, the two of them would be slightly taller than you.
Haha.
Because Abby, Nix is 3, isn't 3 foot?
3.5 because.
3.5, and Ulrich is 4.
Ooh.
So you're
I'm
making 7.5.
6 foot. Oh.
So yeah.
Yeah,
7.5.
7.5. No, it's Ori that's 3 foot.
Ah.
Deep gnomes are a little smaller.
You're 6 foot? You're taller than me?
No, I'm not 6 foot. I was
Okay.
standing on my tiptoes.
Wait,
And
you're
on the
less
table.
than 6 foot, Eryn?
I'm 5'10".
Aw.
Wait, why are you like the world's smallest elf?
I just wonder what the average. Wait, I don't even know what I don't really work in Imperial. What is
That's
that?
like that's literally shorter than me in real life.
5'10" is average human male in England.
177 centimeters. That's not very short. 178 centimeters.
I'm like 5'11", 6 foot in real life.
Yeah, 5'11", like an
Oh.
inch taller.
Wait, I don't know centimeters.
I just
Yeah,
don't
it's
believe-
like, it's like
I'm
Joe's,
188 centimeters.
Yeah, you're like
Oh my
6
Joe's
God.
about 5'10".
2, 6. Oh,
Yeah, Joe's about 177 because he's like about an inch taller than me, and I think
You're
I'm
an
100.
elf who's...
You know, elves aren't like incredibly tall.
No, but like
I'm
they're certainly
standing
not.
at a proud 5'5".
But 5'10" is a small elf.
I mean, it's probably average for female elves.
Oh no,
Oh
it's all
no!
starting to make sense.
With
I'm
males
increasing
probably being about
size.
6.
I'm
It's
increasing his. He's 6. He's 6 now. I've made him
No,
6.
he's not. No, he's not. You can't wreck on it.
I
mean,
watch
it's like a-
Eryn grow taller.
You watch as Aaron's ears just grow just grow about a foot above his own head.
wow.
Now hang on one darn diddly on
Man,
moment.
I wish I could
You
do
guys
that.
discuss stuff. I'm looking up the fucking average height of it.
I mean, I don't know what
Wow.
they are in D&D. I know in just like, I know in like Tolkien, for example, they're like 6 foot
Yes. So
5, I think is average.
yeah, the average height for elves in like Tolkien fantasy is actually quite high. The elves in, at least in my world, aren't that much different from humans. They're not
Okay.
like,
So 5'10" is pretty normal.
I mean, 5'10" is like average male height in England, and so it's like 6 foot is probably about average for elves. They might have a slight height and slightly more leanly built, just to reflect the fact that they have a slightly they have better decks. But other than that, there's not too much in it. You can get humans taller than elves. You can get elves as short as like 5'2".
They say elves range from under 5 to over 6 feet tall and have slender builds. Your size is medium.
Mm-hmm.
So there you go. Fuck you.
They are within the same They are within the same height range as humans. Dwarves range, I think it's like 5 to 3.5 or something.
Yeah. It can. There's. Yeah, I think it is. I think it's.
It's a really out of the blue question. What season are we in?
I'm 4.
You
I
are
believe.
in autumn.
Oh, really? Okay.
Autumn.
Alright, I agree with Rose. I think we should go to the shop. It's the best plan I've got.
I mean, you've
And
got
while
all the
we're
money.
there,
It is true.
while we're there, we can get a diamond. I guess.
Okay, you can pay for it.
It will come out of party funds.
Weren't you just speaking about how rich you are?
Weren't you
I was also speaking about how I like to spend money.
spend on this? Great cause.
on myself, not you
Vincent
guys.
also doesn't care if he
What if
dies.
it saves your life?
Look, you mere peasants may have to rely on magic and trinkets, but some of us have higher powers watching over us.
You're gonna have to actually start.
Ulrich leans into Nick skin. He does realize they use magic as well, right?
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Vincent, you're gonna have to like actually start worshipping Akatosh for him to ever actually do anything for you.
Me and him are cool. We understand each other.
I don't think you do.
I think he's more obsessed with Akintosh. Akintosh worshipping him than he is about worshipping us.
I know.
I think we have a
Which may be a problem.
I think we have a sort of mutual understanding with each other, you know? It's kind of mutual respect.
I don't
It's
think
rare
so.
that one finds an individual as talented as themselves.
Alright, well, have fun with,
We'll see if...
shit.
Well, if your necklace fucks up, that's your own fault. Right.
He's a good guy. I respect him. Not like some gods who you wouldn't know they even existed.
Some things have better
Ulrich
things.
just sort of tilts his head and stares at you as the burning red mark in the center of his forehead continues to glow.
Bit of a tasteless joke there, Vincent.
Well, I'm sorry. But, you know. I suppose the god of death isn't really doing her job, is she?
A little preoccupied, you know. A lot of people die in this world.
Yeah, I suppose you're right. Anyway, we shouldn't talk about this. We should go to Ray's hometown, which, if I remember... What happened to that, Ray? Was it taken over by the living?
You know, it was us that
I will
failed
count.
to stop that lich. Yeah.
So,
I clock him around the.
Well, Ray and Rose walk out. Ulrich sort of starts to follow as well, just shaking his head a bit.
Listen. She's sensitive about this, okay? Shut your fucking gob. For like 2 seconds.
did she have to get out a step ladder to hit me in the head?
I just clocked you. No, shut up.
Eryn's standing on the table and looking down at you, Karen.
Comes to the same height.
Shut up, guys. I made an elf because I didn't want to be shot.
I'm starting to understand why she's so obsessed with being in trees.
I'm a man.
Okay.
Why does everyone think I'm a female?
I don't know. I think it's something to do with your voice.
There's nothing wrong with it.
I wasn't saying that. You know, I'm just leaving. I'm making it worse.
Anyway,
Alrighty. So the shop we're looking for is called Fibrous, I think it was. I think it's around the. Oh, I think it was west from here, 3 streets down. You know what? I'm sure we'll find it with a bit of wondering.
Yeah, let's wander for a bit.
Yeah, I don't have anything to do today.
Alright.
Also, Rose, I have to apologize for the rest of these people. They're not very
Rest of us?
good around. They're not very good around people.
I'm quickly learning.
I'm deeply offended.
Not all.
next.
It's okay, Rose. You want to be careful of that one, though. That Alfie has a thing about looking down on humans. Well, I say looking down. Entirely figuratively, of course.
he's 6 foot, okay?
He's 6 foot and carries a step ladder. Oh, I'm sorry, Yllka.
And yet I specifically played a short character. I like this contrast.
Alrighty then. So you make your way through the city, glancing in and out, and you find a couple shops, one or two sort of venturing shops. One does catch your eye. Not so much an adventuring shop. Its name is A Drop of Death, and it seems to have an assortment of different uh, plants and bottles with different liquids in them displayed in the window. However, you do continue, and as you're making your way along the road, you notice what appears to be about 7.5 foot tall humanoid. It is slowly walking forwards, and people are giving it a wide berth. And as it begins to approach, Rose sort of mutters under her breath and kind of tugs you guys to the side of the road. Yeah, you want to watch out for them.
What is it?
Well, most people call them crawlers. It kind of nods towards it as it's approaching. They are men made out of, well, they're not born, they're crafted into life. Made of iron and wood and steel and that sort of thing. As it approaches, you see that it is indeed humanoid in shape and also following that of a human form. However, it is clearly made from, well, what makes it move is hard to say. But glancing at it, it is clearly not living, or at least what you would probably think of as living at any rate. Not organic. It has seemingly metal plates which shift and slide to allow movement, as wood seems to tense and squeak slightly as it moves. It has a carved face, two eyes, a sort of carved mouth. It does look like a hinge where a mouth might open up. The eyes glow ever so slightly, and there appears to be. It doesn't wear anything. The metal plates, which sort of slide and interlock as it moves, appear to be what it has for armor as well as its own being. And along its arm, you notice that although there are two hands, on one there appears to be a sort of sword, somewhat stored kind of partly into the arm, and with a sort of your eagle-eyed ranger can sort of see somewhere that it seems to be sort of a contraption to swing it out into the hand of this creature. It continues to slowly just walk through the city. The head sort of swings slightly, glancing over things. Doesn't appear aggressive, but people give it a wide berth as it walks down the center of the road, clunking and the metal clinking against the stone as it moves. There's slight scruffs marks left on bits of the stone of where it's stepped, and you hear kind of Ulrich sigh slightly as he notices it. They're a rather recent addition from, well, around here.
Prone to violence?
No, they work with the guards under the crown. They seem some broken trowel wizard in Retlam came up with the idea, as far as I'm aware, and they've been beginning to pop up in some places. Somewhat intelligent. I wouldn't put it. I wouldn't particularly want to hold a conversation with one, but they are capable guards, to say the least. Crime seems to have fallen somewhat, and only the most foolhardy try and take them on. I'm yet to see one fall. Then again, they haven't been around too long, so maybe no one strong enough has challenged one.
Oh, that sounds like a challenge.
No.
I would really rather not get in trouble with the guards here.
Yeah, no, that's not a good idea. Still want to hold you to that spa, though.
Oh, definitely. Just maybe not in the center of town.
Agreed.
Already attracting enough looks as it is for wearing all this armor. And she kind of shifts slightly uncomfortably.
Is she in chainmail?
I did send you her character sheet. No, she's wearing an armored. She's wearing a breastplate and carries a shield.
I thought you just sent me the stats.
You can click on the link.
Look, don't worry. I
Don't worry,
realized-
Abby did this as well.
Yeah,
I'm so confused. One
there's a link as well to the D&D.
Oh right, okay. So you want me to control her in fights? Is that it?
Yeah, you get to control her in combat, but
Oh, that's cool.
Like
Okay.
I look
essentially-
Dude, she's better than me.
you essentially now have a minion.
She's meant
She
to
is
protect
not.
you.
She
is
is
only
not
level
better
4.
than you. She's also 2 levels lower than you.
She's level 4, but she's got like more cool shit than I do. She's got like superiority dice and stuff. I want superiority dice.
And she's a battle master.
Wow.
You get spells. She gets to do a few different things in combat.
Mhm.
Ulrich gets to punch shit. Feels good.
Yeah.
Wait, so both Nyx and Ray have minions.
Yeah.
Yep, pretty much.
Although mine and Ulrich's dynamic is a little different.
Pretty much.
Very different. I'm just.
So yeah, you get to control her in combat. As long as you don't do anything too stupid. I might. If you like, have a run forwards and jump off a cliff.
Oh.
You can control her within like sensible reasons. There may be
Yeah.
1 or 2 times where I tweak what she does, but other than that, you pretty much have full control of her in combat. And out of combat, you can ask her to do things and such. And she is there as a part of your party, a source of some information. How much can be trusted? Who knows?
Don't say stuff like that.
I say stuff like that so you don't take everything Ulrich and Rose say as gospel. Just
Yeah,
because
but now I'm suspicious. Insight check.
What, on the DM or on Rose?
Either way, I'm not going to get anything.
No, she will be truthful to you of what she knows. However, what she knows might not be what is correct. Just like what all of the NPCs know is not all.
Okay.
Alrighty, so eventually, probably by about 10 o'clock, you find the shop which you were looking for, Fibrous. It's a sign hanging outside the door, written in common, and you notice it's written in common, and then also all signs in the city are written in common, Elvish, Dwarvish, and is there one other language? Common, Elvish, Dwarvish. No, I think just the 3. So yeah, the 3. I wouldn't say main, but the 3. Those are the 3 languages on pretty much every sign. Or at the very least, it's common on the main one, and then next to or on the door or something, there's the names written in both Elvish and Dwarfish as well. However, you enter this shop. It is relatively open. There's a couple of books on display. There's appears to be a replica of a sword with a little plaque underneath it, and it's a shop. It's got a few items of perhaps magical interest, a few items which just hold no interest whatsoever. There seems to be on the walls paintings and depictions of many different beasts. And stood behind the counter is about a medium height human. Sort of, you're talking black hair, a couple streaks of white. The odd couple of white hairs sticking out. Medium build, and is busy currently reading a book. But as the door opens, he glances. Oh, Rose. Good to see you again. Kind of nods and goes, yeah, Minvek? And he goes, no, Malmuth. Ah, I will be able to tell you apart one of these days. Of course you will. What can I do for you and your fine friends? And he glances over the rest of the party.
I forgot what we're Oh yeah, transportation. Do you know of anything that could get us to Retlam, say?
They're quite secretive about their magic. Their... Oh, what do you call it? Yes, circles, thank you. They're quite secretive about the ruins for their circles.
Yeah, we understand that part.
Yes, unfortunately, I do not believe neither me or my brother know any even near there, considering it's over an ocean.
Well, that's precisely why I thought that it's exactly where it would be. Oceans are a lot harder to travel over than planes.
Yes, and
Not planes,
fortunately,
you know, craft.
less buildings to house arcane ritual circles. That's true, brother, that's true.
WTF.
Minvik says he believes he's seen Argenfell in the port, in the keep as of recently. Perhaps you can buy some passage off him?
What was the name?
Argenfell.
Argenfell. Other than that, we might be able to buy you with a few potions of water walking, but it's probably not nearly enough for your group and the amount of time it would take you to walk across there without
Oh, I
significant
forgot about
supplies.
that.
Oh, your ring.
I have a ring of water walking.
Well,
I
that
could just walk.
reduce the amount we need. However, you do have the rest of your group to account for.
Wait, have I learnt?
No, that's a stupid suggestion.
Have I learnt the spell yet? Hang on, let me check my spells. I don't think I get it till next level. Water walking. Oh no, I can. Hey guys. So
Hey,
I can cast a spell and lets us walk on water
oh, but why didn't you mention this before?
because I've never prepared it.
Interesting.
I didn't know I had it.
How many people can you cast it on?
10 willing people.
Oh, I say. It's quite a
How
powerful
long
spell.
does the spell last?
It lasts an hour and takes me 10 minutes to cast it.
Right. So you'll essentially be casting a spell every 50 minutes.
Oh, it sounds tiring.
Yeah.
And
It will
unable
take us
to
ages.
rest.
What is it, sorry?
You would be unable to rest.
Oh, true.
Well,
Oh,
no. I mean,
Guys, we've already been. Look, I didn't rest for like God knows how many weeks. It nearly killed me. Let's not do that.
I agree.
I'm sorry to say, but as much as we would like to sell you something, your best bet would most likely be Argenfell.
oh, why is he talking like that?
Do you have any diamonds?
Oh, hey, Eryn.
I've been here the whole time.
Yeah, you're just very quiet until now.
Yes, we have an assortment of different gems for spellcasting needs. We have diamonds, crushed silver, rubies. I think we have a couple of sapphires, and we might even have a peridite around here somewhere. How much are you looking for?
I nudge Nick.
It's for Revivify, so diamonds.
Excuse me. Let me go get my brother. He knows a bit more about divine casting.
Oh, okay.
And he walks out of the door, and a few moments later, it seems like he walks back in. So, diamonds for divine casting. Was that? My brother's been telling me?
Yes, for the spell Revivify, so 300 gold's worth.
Just one set?
Yeah, we're doing pretty good on the not dying front. We just don't want to risk it.
Very wise. Yes, I believe we have about 300 of diamonds. Would you rather that being about 2 diamonds worth 150 each, or would you rather more a handful of about 50 gold worth of diamonds?
I'm debating on which is harder to lose.
I have a bag of holding.
Yeah, but I'm gonna have to hold on to them so I can actually get to you in a fight and cast
You
it.
have a limited window to cast such a spell.
Yes, it has to be within a minute. Otherwise,
So
you're gonna have to wait till I'm a bit more powerful. If I get there. Anyway. Just, go with like, just a small bunch and I can stick them in a little bag.
Certainly.
And then, like, keep the bag hidden on my person or something.
Very wise. 300 gold, if you don't mind.
Okay. So,
I walk out.
bitch, get back here. I do not have...
why?
Oh,
Look, you don't gotta
Oh, I
play
know.
the rule of it.
you're just spending someone else's money now, Nix.
Look, this is for you. For if you die, you keep...
No, it's gonna be for Eryn, isn't it?
Why me?
Erin's not
Let's
gonna...
be honest, Eryn. You're so squishy.
Eryn
Listen,
might be
no, I'm not
squishier.
squishy. Look at this. I'm very lean.
But Ray, you're at the front of the fights most of the time. You saw what that night
Don't
hag
pinch my
nearly did to you.
cheeks.
So squish. I mean,
I'm very capable in a fight, okay? I'm not a burden on you guys.
of course not.
Alright,
It's not.
how about you owe me?
Excuse me?
Sure. Alright, I have.
I owe you.
Oh, no, not you, Eryn.
So why can't we take
Oh.
this out of the party funds?
Most of it's coming out of the party funds.
Okay, so if we take. Okay, I have 5
We take the
platinum.
17 flat.
And I have
We
5
take...
plat. Oh, which. Sorry, was it, Ninvik? Sorry, I missed your name. I should have asked.
Yes.
Okay, would you be, willing to I have silver powder. 50 gold's worth of silver powder. Would you be willing a trade?
Wait,
Let me see it.
Okay, I pull out the pouch of silver powder that I bought a while back for using. Oh wait, I have 2 gems worth 70 gold. Can I pull them out as well? Where the fuck do these come from? Anyway, 50 gold's worth of silver powder, which I bought when I got the not long after I got the carved dragon bones for divination.
Yes, you did.
Because I wanted 2 sets, and then we just I never got round to casting the spell.
Alright, so let's see. You got 2 gems worth of 70. So is that a gem worth 70
I'm
and a gem
working
worth
it out.
70?
Hang on.
Or 2 gems worth 45?
I don't know, this was so long ago when I got them. I kind of just hung on to them because they're pretty. Let me check my old notes. Hello, notes. What do you say?
Alright, okay. So with the party funds and did you say the powder was worth 50 gold?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll make up the other 80.
But if he is willing to trade the... Ooh.
Opens the pouch, dips his hand in, runs the silver through through his fingers, and goes, "Brother." And you see pretty much a near enough identical man come out from behind from the door and stand behind the counter, and you're beginning to realize why Rose might have so much difficulty telling these two apart, as they do appear to be near enough identical twins.
I honestly actually thought they were just the same. They were different people in the same body. I think differently now.
And as they are, as one sort of running the powder through his fingers, the other's sort of staring somewhat intently, and you're beginning to get the idea that they might be having a conversation you cannot hear.
Okay.
Yes, that seems to be good enough for you.
Oh.
Us. So, 50 gold worth of silver powder?
Well.
That leaves 250 gold left to pay.
I have a longbow.
Alright, Eryn. I hand over the rest.
Oh, you hand over the 17 party.
So 17 party funds and 80 gold from my own pocket.
The 50 gold's from my own pocket.
Yeah, but like it's not 80, is it?
They accept the gold quite graciously, and the platinum. Oh, don't see many platinum these days. Here you go, miss, and hands over the. They've put the 10 diamonds worth about 30 gold each into a little leather bag and are handing it to you, Nix.
Okay. I'm going to find a safe place on the I wonder if I can fit it under my mithril plate armor. Just hide it there.
It's just overflowing with diamonds.
Is this specifically for spell casting? As pretty as they are, they will save a life. Hopefully. I mean, hey, no more airship incidents, right? Yay.
Dog?
Well, to be fair, don't we have to revive the body?
Well, I mean,
Should we go look for him?
I can't bring
Dig
him
him up.
back. It's been like 3 weeks now.
Money well spent is what I say.
I just like mid-fight, if we're in trouble, someone dies. I'll just.
You can start a ritual in the middle of a battle.
Yep. I mean, it doesn't.
How long does it take?
Let me check. Let me ask. It takes me 6 seconds to cast it.
Oh, easy.
So it is an action basically.
Cool.
So you touch a creature that has died within the last minute. That creature returns to life with 1 hit point. The spell can't return to life a creature that has died of old age, nor can it restore any missing body parts. So, don't lose your head when you die. I can't bring that back.
Or, alternatively, don't lose your body.
Or don't lose the body. That's a good point too.
How about just don't die? Just something I've been living by for a while.
You say for a
That
while.
would explain why you're still alive.
Yeah, see, I'm a smart cookie.
You live as long as you live, I suppose. Oh. Very sorry for bringing this very strange conversation into your shop.
Right. Shall we go find Arg and Ethel?
We've heard worse.
That's both.
Pleasure doing business.
That's worrying. Okay. Have a good day.
The two brothers raise their left hand and wave goodbye.
Rose. What was the other guy's name? I missed it.
I get the creeps from them.
Oh, the other brother.
Yes.
Yeah, it's really hard to tell them apart. Malmuth and Minvek.
Malmuth, I missed that. Minvek and...
I feel sorry for their parents.
There always will be a way to tell them apart. Just finding it.
is beyond me.
Wait, we didn't know. We didn't get told anything about how to find Arkenfell. Do we just ask around? Who even is Arkenfell?
I assume someone with a boat.
Hmm.
You guys got any other ideas, or are we just gonna go to the keep and start asking questions?
Let's just look for Arkenfell.
Probably just, yeah.
To the keep and asking questions it is. Right, this way. Gotta head relatively northwards around the city. We're gonna have to go around the Blue Palace.
Oh, that hurt my ears.
But, yeah, well, I guess you'll get to see the rest of the city.
Yay!
You might even see the hall, I guess.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, well, if you're a god botherer, maybe. Come on.
Yeah.
No offense.
Alright, I'm getting used to it.
Alright, well, she leads you through the streets once more, pointing out the occasional interesting spot or curiosity. You make your way towards the inner part of the city, which is, you're informed, the Blue Palace, which is the white bricked building behind the inner city wall. It got its name from the blue domed roofs, which pretty much, stand out quite a lot. Normally in the sort of darker skies, although today it is relatively clear, but they're a bit reflective and easy to notice. They are cobalt in color. Sorry, my desk is being weird. There we go.
I almost thought you said kobold, and I was like, hang on a minute.
Cobalt, as in the metal,
I know.
as in real world, is named after the kobold, which is indeed a mythical creature.
What the fuck? I don't like
To which
this.
the kobold of D&D is also named after.
I don't like this.
Yep, the metal is named after a mythical creature. Kobolds were essentially cave spirit guardians, and since cobalt was found deep in the ground, in caves, hence why they took the name.
That's pretty cool. I don't like it, but it's pretty cool.
Also don't remember why I remember that, but there you go.
It's interesting. Anyway. To Arkenfell.
Certainly. So, as you make your way through the city, you kind of go past the walls, rather towering, makes even the tallest of people in the party feel small. And the small ones, well, you're used to it by now. You make your way along. You don't go right next to the wall. There's a bit of a gap and more regular guard patrols. You notice that there are a couple of guard patrols along the top of them as well. The occasional guard tower built into it. You see no gate as of yet. And then Rose sort of drives you guys furthermore into the heart of the city once again. Make your ways winding through, and you're making your way down one road when you see a sort of fella, rough, patchy grey beard, kind of stagger forwards, bottle in one hand, kind of stops, looks over your group, swaying slightly, before making his way forwards once more.
I don't trust that. Isn't he just wandering, or he's walking towards us?
He seems to be attempting to walk towards you with purpose.
I avoid eye contact.
I stare him down.
I stare him down too.
We both stand there.
Well, he isn't
Stand
looking
up,
at
Eryn.
either of you. He kind of staggers up and gets right up into the face of Vincent.
Oh, Vincent, why?
You have
Yes.
some bloody nerve coming back here. And he spits on your shoes.
I spit in his face.
What?
Kind of just
Mature. I like it.
wipes it with one hand and just kind of walks off.
Who was that?
I don't know, some detestable little cretin.
Did you recognize him?
No. They all sort of blend into one.
All the people
Can
I annoy
I-
are just basically the same person.
Can I try and
Not
see
me.
if what you just said was true?
Sure. Roll insight, I guess.
Can I cast prestidigitation to clean the spit off his shoes? Because that's just gross.
Nasty.
That's just nasty. Makes
Who were
me
you trying to
uncomfortable.
insight? Sorry. Okay.
Vincent,
Vincent, you want to make a deception check?
please fail.
Yes.
Please. You can only get one lower.
Yeah, I mean, it's +6, so.
Oh,
Vincent generally doesn't seem to have any idea who.
you seem to make an impression on people.
Well, it's good to see I'm remembered.
Maybe not in the way which most people would want to be. Anyway, we're nearing the keep now. This way. And as she leads you forwards, you now begin to notice on the sort of horizon there is a large, but not rivaling the palace by any stretch of the imagination, sort of stone, more traditional stone brick building, of the stone to which most of the houses appear to be made out of as well. And as you head forwards, you begin to hear the sound of a river slowly making its way past and shouting and the general hubbub and noise that accompanies docks and the dock works. The sort of smell of water and fish also comes to you. Not salt water, fresh water, but more the sort of smell of fish and unclean sailors. As Rose sort of leads you to you now realize that the keep is one of the few and only parts of what was probably the older city still standing. Although it does have a bit of a wall, it just sort of crumbles away, and it seems to be only bits here and there which help outline roughly where the dock district is. All the buildings which were probably within the keep's walls have been long since replaced by warehouses and one or two taverns, shops selling different things to sailors, shops and repair, a couple blacksmiths, a few what do you call it? Carpenters, that's it, as well. It is your typical dock. There appear to be about 5 or 6 different galleys docked, to which 3 of the 5 have seem to have some activity of men on board of them, be it loading, unloading cargo, or seemingly just beginning to set about setting off. What do you guys do?
Should we try and find this guy?
We could start asking people if they know him.
Good idea.
I'm gonna go find that guy who spat on my shoes.
Don't get into trouble, please.
So he can pay the cleaning fee.
Your shoes are
Of
clean.
nothing?
He doesn't know that.
Alright. Right. Those who are looking, 2 of you roll investigation for attempting to find Argenfell.
My intelligence sucks. I'm sorry I was late to education.
We'll make
you-
an investigation.
What was that, sorry?
I will make a check. It wasn't very good.
Shall I try? I've only got +0 though, so if
Wait,
anyone has anything better.
mine's 0-2, but I haven't rolled yet. And no offense, Eryn, but your rolls have been iffy.
Whistling a tune.
Mine's
While you
dreadful
say
too,
this.
don't worry.
He's tapping his foot merrily.
He's distracted. Very distracted.
Yep, Rose has no idea either.
Really? goes now.
Oh no.
That's bad.
Let's look with Ulrich.
Come on, Ulrich.
Oh, the dwarf might know.
Yay!
Wait, but he doesn't like to... Oh, no.
You knew those were reason we kept him around.
He's my friend.
Aww.
Don't be mean.
All right, so you spend a good couple hours. So first of all, you go ship leaving, check that one first, and you sort of all jog towards it. Start inquiring with sailors about Captain Argenfell, or Argenfell, or whoever it may be. Most of them seem to have absolutely no idea what you're going on about. I want to suggest checking one or two of the nearby watering holes for him. Perhaps he's in there. You go in to one or two of them, although that yields no results either. By this time, it's probably gone lunch, and you're getting a wee bit fed up. Glancing around, the ship which you originally ran to has now long since departed. One of them has finished unloading the cargo and now sits silent. The one which was loading appears to be having people getting ready to start departing as well. And the other two appear to have no real action, although off in the distance you're pretty sure you see another galley coming in towards the dock, coming upriver. However, it's as you're sort of walking around in a bit more bitter defeat. Ulrich sort of goes, yeah, that guy gives me the creeps.
Who?
Gestures his head over to. You notice one of the empty, ships with no activity, which hasn't had any at all, stood on the dock, just slightly away from the gangplank, is a black-robed humanoid figure. Hard to make out any other features from this distance.
I guess we approach him.
I mean, he seems cool.
Of course you'd say that.
I mean,
Yeah.
Nyx generally thinks he's cool.
Maybe next should go talk to him.
Oh no. Alright. I'm going over there.
All right. You wander over,
Hello there.
and as you approach, the head sort of lifts up slightly, and you, at your height, are able to sort of look up and into it. Although it clearly has a humanoid body, and from the leather armor and black flowing sort of robes and cloak around it, appears to give off a sense of a human. You notice that the skin is very, very pale. The eyes are unnaturally open, and its mouth, well, the lips are sort of pulled back, and when it speaks, its jaw doesn't move. You seek passage.
Can you provide passage?
I can.
To Retlam?
There's a long port. Close to.
How close?
Hello.
Underneath.
So, how do we get up when we get there?
Oh, Eryn. Asking the real questions.
We'll find a way. Right. Hold up.
I guess that's alright then. Should we take it?
what would it cost us?
Good question.
Woo, I
Oh,
can't
guys,
remember.
he's so shady.
Yeah, this is like he's super sketchy.
This is like
Creep.
he, like, I don't know, sinks his own ship in the sea and we will die, and that's the end of the campaign.
But
Like, this is very fucking shady.
Nyx can revive one of us.
Nyx can revive one of you to let you drown again. It's all good, guys. It's all
Provided
good.
that Nyx doesn't die first.
What's the guy's name again, by the way?
Revive
Arden.
Ulrich.
Sorry?
We didn't ask.
Argenfell.
This is Argenfell. Oh, I was trying so hard. I was totally wasn't metagaming. He is kind of a zombie, isn't he? He's cool.
No.
No, he's not.
No.
He's Oh, what are they called? They're a very specific thing.
They are a very specific thing,
Begins with
and
like
they
an
are
M
actually
or
a
W.
fiend.
Ah, so Nyx doesn't
Wait.
mind them then.
Wait. Who's my favorite, what the hell is it? Some
Oh,
features
so
and
you might,
Oh, the
traits.
favoured enemy.
Yeah.
you might know what he is then.
Yeah, fiends. I should
You
have
would be
recognized that.
beginning to, during this conversation, you would be beginning to pick up that this is definitely not a regular human, and Eryn would be beginning to go, I think I've studied something like this.
Heard rumors.
And you can make a intelligence check on advantage to recall information.
Is it? It's
Cool.
it begins with
Well,
it begins with an M, doesn't it? Ah. I'll find it.
can I try and guess what kind of fiend he is?
Intelligence check with advantage.
Hey, I found it from memory. Okay.
Sorry. Ah, fuck's sake.
How many
Okay.
sessions ago was it?
Oh, so many. It was back in It was before Odd joined us
It was just before the island, wasn't it?
Oh god, before the dragon cultists. Oh no. Yes. And then we got
Session 30?
yeah, we spent a lot.
Well, good job you had advantage, hey? 17. You don't know the specific name, but this is beginning to ring a few bells in some of your fiendish studying which you did in an attempt to find out what was haunting Nyx. There are weirdly specific fiends to certain things. And this one is beginning to strike you as ones which you recall reading about being the grim captains of the ships that ferry those across the river Styx. However, it has been known for a few of them to step further afield than just the river that runs through several of the different hellish landscapes that is the lower plains.
Oh, I don't want to do it. I don't want to.
So cool.
No, I don't want to do
You're
hellish
very good
things.
sailor then.
Look, we need a good
You know that they have absolute control over their vessel, to which they are contracted to sail.
Oh god,
Well,
Aaron's all
if
for it now.
if it was me, not Eryn, I'd be like, hell yeah, this guy has complete control of his ship. Nothing can go wrong. But it's Eryn, so he's still skeptical. He doesn't doubt it, but doesn't know what this guy's motivations are. Yeah, how much does it cost?
What does
Good
it
question.
cost?
That is which I'm gonna freaking figure out.
Oh,
Give me a second.
yeah, I can't remember how much it cost.
Yeah, I got it written somewhere.
Ironfell's a cool character, guys. I'm totally not
Very, very cool.
metagaming. Nope.
Actually, God, it was before that, wasn't it?
What, before session 30? Might have been. Where's my notes?
Yeah, because you met. Oh God, you met him before you actually
Yeah, because
ever
Cerno just
sailed with him.
accidentally bumped into him on a night's walk, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Poor Cerno.
Wait, who was it again? Who bumped into him?
Cerno. He was just
Yeah.
wandering and stumbled upon him. And got really freaked out.
Yeah, well, wouldn't you if you just stumbled upon him in the middle of the night who was essentially going, "Don't speak to me unless you want to hire my services."
That's true.
Oh, where the bloody hell did I leave the page? Stand by for technical difficulties.
Ooh. I wonder if it was before.
I don't think it was.
Found it. It was in session 27 because I literally started the sentence with, "Oh God, hello, little halfling. It's murder time." Because I thought Sona was gonna get attacked.
Did you record the pricings in that one?
Let's see.
I remember I wrote down the pricing somewhere, and I, for the life of me, can't find them.
Okay, I'd have to check for later. So it was after we brought Boar back. Ooh, okay, there's one. Where's the one that odd joint session 31? Oh no, that's session 30. No, I don't think I did.
Oh, that was what it was, wasn't it? Okay, you're looking for all passage. You are looking for approximately. Oh God. Because it's gonna be right that. Jesus, distance-wise, you're looking at about 500 to 600 gold pieces.
In total?
Not each, right?
Not each.
But that's like 100 each.
Mm-hmm.
I barely have 100. I have 98 in total.
I have but 5 gold to my name.
So do
Is
I.
there anything we can do to perhaps repay this price? Any mercenary work you need? We're very capable. Anything you need to do, anything
That
to
is the
lower the
price
price.
to pay for my transport.
Right. That's okay. Okay, guys. We find a job. We, get ourselves hired to go beat something up. We come back. Sounds great.
Cool.
Let's go get paid.
Yep. Let's go do some work.
Okay.
Let's fuck something up. Cool. Fuck. Should I have spent that 5 gold?
Yeah.
100% yes. Never.
Alright. We'll be back eventually. Hopefully.
I will stay until someone hires me.
Right. Of course.
Right, we need to find a job that pays 100 each.
Alright. I mean, there's gotta be like a guards hall around here or something.
Yeah, there must be. Can we try and look for one?
Personally.
Wait, Rose, do you know? When you were looking
yes.
for work?
I did a few odd jobs around here. Why?
So we can get hired to earn some money for passage to Ratlam.
It take us a little while to get that much coin.
Alright, how much does everyone have?
I have 98 in total.
I have.
Phew, so close.
I have.
I got about 70.
I've got about 6.
That's okay.
I got about 82.
Oh, does he?
Yes, not that it's on his sheet.
Aw. I was gonna say, he's only got 15 on his sheet, Nate.
And Rose only has 10 on her sheet.
You hiding stuff from us?
Yes, because it's their money.
I wouldn't spend that money.
Alright, Next, you said you had 98.
Yeah.
Who else? 82 for Rose, right?
82 for Ulrich.
82.
And about 70 for Rose.
60.
Look.
60 for Rose. Vincent. How much gold do you have?
I have 44 bronze.
Inside check.
I don't know about you guys, but I think that number keeps on getting smaller.
It's getting lower.
Feel free to roll an insight check against Vincent's deception.
Oh. I'll just admit defeat.
Oh, but you could still. Oh, you didn't roll a 1. Okay.
He has spent so much money on women and booze, he only has 3 gold.
I come from a poor family.
Eryn, how much you got?
At least you have 1.
I have.
Right, your deception isn't good enough to make her forget what you've been boasting about.
I have just 5 gold.
Wait, what?
I just have 5. Just 5.
Inside check. You literally just got 5 gold.
Insight versus deception. Come on.
Oh, I rolled well.
Hey!
No,
He's
he
got
doesn't.
double the amount.
He's got 13 gold.
Why would you even lie?
That's
He
worse.
wants to hold a little bit of money.
Yeah, I'm willing to part with.
Okay, so we have just above half of what we need.
Okay, I'm gonna start rooting through my bag, and by that I mean go back through my notes to find out where I got these gems for and how much they're actually worth.
I thought we were gonna do what?
Yeah, we can still do work. I mean, are you guys up for doing work?
Yeah, I can work.
Just go like see if they need a monster nearby beaten up. It's been a while since we've beaten up a monster after everything that happened
Yeah.
with the night hag and
I don't mind
You know,
beating up.
like, literally, yesterday we were fighting sharks on land.
land sharks don't count. I'm talking like when we fought the weird ice monster that screamed at us.
Hey,
That was a great fight.
Rose
That
is
was.
beginning to question what she's gotten herself into.
Remember that, guys? We got stuck on the frost plane. Man,
Oh man, that was so
wild.
hilarious. I was pissing myself.
Yeah, and then Ian was like, yo, guys, you're so dumb. Yeah, that was really bad.
Oh man, good times.
Good times. Well, we got back okay.
Yep, we did.
Eventually. Oh, man.
Right. Shall we try and find like a guard's thing?
Yes.
Like a thing, notice board, anything.
Okay, I have an idea. I have a
This is new.
talent for making money in ways that you do not. I will go acquire the money we need, and then you can all agree to pay me back when needs be.
Are you gonna sell your body?
Never
No
mind
joke.
how I
I
make
was
the money.
literally about to have Ulrich ask that in a slightly different manner.
Never you mind how I'm going to make the money, but I will pay for. Well, we're fully aware that Ray has the coin, but I will pay for the elf and the poor gnome, and in return, you guys can pay me your share when you are more affluent.
I was about to say.
Wait, hang
The
on.
elf.
So you wait, hang on. So you're paying for Nyx and Ulrich, who are together missing about 12 gold.
No, I'm paying for Eryn as well.
Okay, who's missing like 17?
Yeah.
Where's this money coming from?
I'm going to acquire it through means that you do not need to know.
Interesting.
He
He
You know,
says, eyeing up Ray's coin
acquire it
purse.
from.
I was about to ask if you're going to do what I think you're going to do, in the sense that this is the same way I used to earn money many years ago. I don't mind lending a hand.
You people have no honor.
I'm not going to do it illegally. It'll be completely legitimate.
Okay. Just saying though.
Okay. But on the condition that you both pay me back when you have the money.
Okay.
Fine.
Alright. Rena knows none of this.
Ugh,
Please.
fucking
Your
investigative
sort of
Vince.
shrugs. I'm looking forward to a good death.
We'll make
Remember, thumbs up.
Yep.
Don't bring me back.
Okay. I'll make sure. I will make sure we will get you that good death.
Alrighty.
It's so ironic.
I think we shall call the session there, if that's all right.
As we head off to go look.
As you head off to find some money.
I'm really interested to see what Vincent's gonna do.
You have a week to come up with an in-depth plan.
I'm literally going to go to the bar for the night and then come back and give you the money I have because I
He
have like
has-
500 gold.
He has a shit
I
ton
know.
of money.
I looked, but it's okay.
Oh
Nix doesn't
my
know this.
god. I
What?
didn't
You
Abby,
really.
saw
you're-
that. Yours is.
Abby, your metagaming would not fly in one of Yanis's games.
Where the
He
hell
would
do
tell
you?
you off.
Oh no,
So
I'm very good at not metagaming. Thank you very much.
Oh,
You
that's-
you said you just looked at my gold.
Yes, but I didn't act on it.
That's
Nix didn't
very
act
much
on it.
so.
There's a difference between metagaming and having meta knowledge.
Like I knew what Argon
To which
Flow
otherwise
was. but I did
A
my
DM
best
would
to
never
avoid
be
it.
able to play as a player because of all the meta knowledge he has if it instinctively meant that he metagamed.
Where did you guys get all this money?
We didn't buy it on like bows and random crap every time we went to any store. I still have the
Maybe
same
I'm
weapon
just-
and armor that I
That's-
started with.
No, you don't. You got a
you
fancy
got
one.
your rapier enchanted.
Oh yeah, I got my
Maybe I'm
rapier
just good
enchanted
at
and I have the fancy dagger,
role-playing
but
it.
I was given that for free.
Maybe
You
I'm
were
good at
given it.
role playing a poor character, okay? Maybe I know how to fucking role play a poor person.
Well, no,
To
because
be
a
fair,
poor
you have
person
some of
doesn't
the-
spend their money. You waste
You
all
also
your
have some of the most magic items there are out of the entire group, so you know.
You're just
I
intense.
like nice things.
You,
You
They're
collect the pretty
inspiring.
things.
you're
Right, well,
the epitome of
He
someone
also
who
hope
treats
enjoys
the-
life's
himself
simple
well.
pleasures.
I hope the what was it? 3-4 week wait was worth it.
10 out of 10
Thank you.
best session we've had so far.
Just because he went to the Lotus
Just because you
Meadow.
laid a female elf.
That's
Wow.
like one thing off the checklist done now.
Wow.
Get it on with one of your own kind.
Yeah.
One from each race. No, he's not. No, it's just elves.
He's got a bucket list.
Jam, you
It's the Minotaur next, and then the Loxton.
I'm sure, Jam. Eryn's racist. That's why. No offense, Eryn. But some.
No, it's fine. I mean,
Oh
It's
no, I
true.
completely know I'm racist.
Anyway, thanks for the session, mate. That was good fun.